Good evening. Hello, Deepa.
Evening.
And how are you all this evening?
Ah, very good.
Okay.
Very. Oh,
And how
I
was
gotta
your
take it.
week?
Hmm. You always have to try to remember what the week had. It was. It was. It was interesting because I remember from last week when we ended. The thing about the lesson always comes after you learn the lesson, the opportunity. And sometimes I would say, oh boy, I wonder if there's the opportunity here. Boy. And even today, I was like, okay, all right, focus, focus, focus. And I was able to get through
Mm-hmm.
a few things that I would, that, I really wanted to go a particular direction and the normal way of handling things. And then you would, but I had something else more important in every occasion. I had something else more important to not go down that road so that I could handle what was more important in a really relaxed manner. So
Understood. Understood. And as it relates to everyone who is currently online, what is something that you can now manage better than when you just started coming on these sessions?
hmm,
Think about it. What is something that you could manage better in comparison to when you just started these sessions?
Overthinking and over processing and over analyzing.
Okay, so what do you do now in place of it?
I'm able to identify it and then work on stopping it versus letting it go on and on and on,
Oh,
and like I used to do previously.
okay.
for
And
me, it's being aware of my breath and even sometimes pausing. And when you go back a little bit, you realize you your breathing might have changed a little.
mm-hmm.
And then you go and you try and apply one of the techniques to. So I try to keep practicing ever so often. But I would also support what Lisa just said. A little bit less and not really 100%, but much better. And the other thing is giving myself grace. Not so much as excusing what I would do,
Mm-hmm.
but looking at how congratulating the small changes instead of looking at what you believe is not the best and not working, just celebrating the growth
Mm-hmm.
and recognizing that it's a process. Whereas before it would be a, a big red X, you put an X on it, correcting a paper, it would have been a big red X with a failure grade next to it. But now you've given yourself the same grace that you would give to somebody else. You would encourage somebody. I'm
Mm-hmm.
encouraging myself a lot more.
Okay. Anyone else? As it relates to what is something that you could better manage now in comparison to when you had just started? Anastasia, are you there?
Good night. Yes, I am.
So, what is something that you could better manage now in comparison to when you had just started with us?
I could better manage a lot of stuff now. But the main thing is being true to myself, living my truth in the sense of putting me first,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that if I don't put me first and I put somebody else before me, then I won't be living my truth.
Yeah.
And not living your truth is a real heavy weight to carry around. And apart from it being a weight, it is sad to know that you're treating yourself like that. You're giving yourself second, third, fourth, fifth place and putting everybody above you.
Yeah.
You know, it's really a sad, like in hindsight, now I realize that I was living a sad life, and I think that is where the majority of my unhappiness was coming from. Adana
I
is
would like,
gone.
No, I am right here. Sorry. I just had to sneeze. I apologize.
Okay, okay. All right, yeah. So that is one of the things that I could talk about. It have many more, but that is the main thing for me.
Okay. 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 Someone else was about to say something.
yes, I was about to say I have a better understanding that everybody is on their own journey, so let them be. That is what I better add. I have somebody here who started listening on a Monday, and she want to share she what changes has happened to her. You can talk, man. You can talk.
Okay, so I think they probably got bumped off because I'm not seeing them on the list anymore. So I guess when they come back in, we would be able to continue. Gillis, are you there?
Definitely.
And what change were you able to not change, sorry. What are you able to better manage now in comparison to when you had just started?
Well, what I'm managing better is when someone rubs me the wrong way, I am able to hold my peace, get into that zone, and let peace prevail. I ain't going, I ain't going full blow. I let in peace, silence, and I might let it slip, or I might give a constructive reply. And I'm
Okay.
not flying up the handle again.
Okay. Very good. Very good. SGL, are you there? Are you able to speak on what is something you are better able to manage now in comparison to when you had just started with us? Oh, okay, he's unable to speak at this time. I know someone they got bumped off. Are you able to speak now?
Yes, I will have to speak for her because she sort of hoarse.
Okay,
What she said that she can manage more is worrying, and and she could better handle dealing with what people say. So that is what she would like to share. All right.
okay,
Thank you.
all right. So, and even as everybody express what they are able to better manage, you would recognize that as it relates to tonight's topic, becoming the author of your own story, you would realize that in managing what you are experiencing, that is how you are able to become the author of your story. And for those who have been with us from inception, even after inception to now, what story have you been writing?
I think according to Anastasia, she was really on point, learning how to be true to you. Because I can speak for myself, you do put a lot into everyone else, especially being a parent, a wife. a mother, friend. You do put a lot into everyone else, and you don't give yourself the same grace, like Catherine was saying, the same grace that you give others, and you just don't realize how much of a toll it takes on you, but now learning all the things that I've learned, starting to apply the tools is really being true to me.
So, can you say that you are able to now construct a story coming from truth as compared to, before you might be probably unclear, and sometimes you don't even realize that you're in a pattern and you're in a pattern for that long. So, can you say that you are able to really live, or even at a greater existence, live from truth and where truth is?
Yeah, I think someone said to me that with like the personality I have, I always wanted peace. Like I'm always searching for peace. So like even in the conversations we've had last week, where it's like peace doesn't always mean that that's your truth, right? Because it could come from your ego saying, okay, well, don't speak at this time or don't say this at this time. So one of the things like I learned was really saying no or learning how to stand up for myself. I still not good at it, but I'm better at it, because you still feel like, oh my God, if I say this, you're going to hurt somebody's feelings. Or if I say that, what is that? What are they going to think about me? Or if I say this, especially like when you're at work and it's management, I have to be respectful. So I think I'm really working on that
Mm-hmm.
aspect of being true to me on that level.
Okay, understood. Anyone else? What story, or even what story are you now creating, knowing what you know? Because before you would have been creating something else, living by something else. So, what story are you now able to create moving forward? Yes, Catherine?
I think I'm creating a kinder story, uh, a gentler story with me in it. Uh, a more truthful story. Sometimes you have to put down the pen sometimes because it's what you're looking at is so raw sometimes, so different, so a little frightening. So you take a pause sometimes, but you know that the pause is not now a hard full stop.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before, you I would try to avoid things. I would try to avoid some things within and not facing those things. And they would keep just running on my mind, running on my mind, running on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one of those situations coming up. And I said, what is the worst that could happen? You say what you have to say. And me throw me corn. Me no call no foul. So it but in looking at it, there is a kindness and a more gentle approach that is revealing itself so that I could remain. Many years ago, I thought humility was letting people walk all over you. And having learned that that is not the case at all. People walking over you is people walking over you. That has nothing to do with humility. You find that going forward, the story is a gentler one, a less worried one, a less structured one based on what I thought I had to look like.
Yeah.
and present myself. So sometimes a little slip go back. So you take your pencil and you erase that portion that you wrote, but it's a kind of more loving story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I like the way it's going.
Okay, understood. Anyone else?
Yes, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I am writing the story that my soul has the blueprint of my life, and I could trust what it is telling me. I do not have to depend on external
Mm-hmm.
to validate me. I also am writing the narrative where I have my garden to attend to,
Yes.
and I am attending to my garden with care
Mm-hmm.
and um, intention. I'm intentional about my garden.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I am seeing myself planting flowers, nice,
Yes.
beautiful flowers in my garden. I am really working on my garden for my garden to look real beautiful. You
Yeah.
understand?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
I am looking forward to my garden to be shown on the outside just as it is on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So, that being said, I am concentrating on me right now. And I am happy to know that I am alive and learning what I am learning, to know that here what it is. You were supposed to be taking care of you long time. You were supposed to be attending to your garden long time. You understand?
Yeah.
And really and truly, I want a very long time to attend to this garden. I really want to give this garden what it deserves. The attention and the time that it deserves, I want to give it that. Until God ready to take me, I want to attend to this garden and have the best garden ever.
Yeah. Yes. 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 Understood. Because you see, a lot of times, you're living and we all on the hamster wheel and we just running and we going and a lot we don't even pause, we don't stop, we do reflect. And again, when do you reflect? You lie down in the hospital. You're by the doctor. You're worrying about what the outcome going to be. Instead of being more proactive, and as Anastasia is saying, tend to your garden. Every day that you get up is the opportunity for you to tend to your garden and then really become the author of your own story. Because a lot of times, and I know social media has a lot to do with this, we tend to intake a lot that is happening on social media, and then you recognize that you're not even the author of your story, somebody else writing it. You saw another story, you were inspired by the story, but being inspired by the story doesn't mean that that story is yours. And sometimes you take it on. This is what it is supposed to be, and you're trying to control whatever the outcome is. And only now you recognize that life really does not even work like that. Because as soon as you try to control what the outcome is, a lot of things tend to go haywire. And then you spend even more time trying to fix the haywire instead of just simply listen. Focus on your garden, tend to your garden. Are there weeds? Do you need to nourish the soil? Do you need to add more water? Do you have to put up, I'm not sure what the name of it is, to prevent the heavy rainfall from affecting the plants? I'm not sure what the name of it is. I don't think it's a tarpaulin. I'm not sure what the name. I know my parents, they have it too. And, focus really on what it is you require. And why I asked the question initially as it relates to where you were in comparison to where you are now, it is because it is important to know the stories that you tell in yourself, because those shape your identity and it also shapes your future. It is very important that you are mindful of the stories you're telling yourself. because that would certainly affect your story and how you choose to live. So if you're still looking at the past and hoping to find the pathway for where you're going, then you might end up in some difficulty, because a lot of times the things that you're holding to, they cannot work in this season. They cannot work. They obsolete. And even if you look at the rate of technology and how quickly things moving now, just think of some of the habits, some of the thoughts, some of the words you're even using towards yourself. You cannot use it any longer. And I know all of us here now can attest that some of the things you used to do, they're no longer working. They're not working. So you're trying to do them and you're getting frustrated more than anything because it's not working as it used to in the past. And you see, this is the opportunity to really try something new. But what does it really take to try something new? Well, let's take a try, It really doesn't take anything other than trying. And again, you do not know what the outcome might be. So you can't say, well, I don't want to because of course, we are learning something different during the week. And you see, it is important that past experiences inform your life instead of imprisoning it. Because, and even as Anastasia was explaining also, and even Lisa, you would recognize that for years you were living in a prison. And you have yourself down on the list fourth or fifth or sixth or whatever it is. And even for some of us, you're still not pushing yourself to the top. And every day you get up and you're saying, yeah, I will start tomorrow. Every day, yeah, I will start tomorrow. Whatever it is, whatever is the new experience, every day you're telling yourself the same thing, I will start tomorrow. But the only time you really have is now. And you really need to just prioritize. Just as simple as you get up in the morning and okay, today I need to cook, I might need to, I don't know, sweep and mop, wash some clothes. So even before you do all of that, sit with yourself for 5 minutes. You ever sit with yourself for 5 minutes at the start of the day to ask yourself, what do you want? Do you even know what you want? Do you even know the story that you want to create? Hello, Renata. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. When you get up in the morning and you just sit quietly or you're lying down quietly on your bed, do you even ask yourself, okay, what do I want? As Anastasia, know what you want to plant. You want to plant beautiful flowers. But for the rest of us, do you know what you want? What are you working towards? What is constantly coming to you to get done? What are you ignoring? Take the first step. There is something that is constantly coming up, and you are ignoring it. This is the opportunity to really push past it and get it done, because you might think that it is going to be a burden, and you might think that it is going to be difficult, and it might end up being easier than you even realize. Because again, the beliefs, the emotions, and the habits that you have, they become part of your personal narrative. So even when you think of something, a person, a place, or a thing, you already have a narrative about it. So you already make up your mind what it is. And you see, what was required for yesterday is not required for today. Do you sit to ask yourself before you start anything, okay, let me just see. I am used to leaving home, and I will take the road on the right. But for some reason, I am getting the instruction to take the road on the left. Do you take it, or do you continue with whatever the pattern was? Katrin, I'm seeing that you have your hand raised.
Yes. In terms of like prejudging what could happen, I had a meeting today, and that meeting was long overdue. It was overdue because when it first came that it should happen, I put my old self in the space and let you know your mind go into all kinds of areas and how badly you'll feel or how worried you'd feel or whatever. So going into the meeting today, I knew from since last week, okay, so I have this meeting to go to today. And I would not do what I was accustomed to. I wouldn't try to figure out what I'm going to say. I wasn't going to place different scenarios in my head and then come up with some scenario plots, you know, like when you're writing a play, you have the script already written out and everything. And even though the old ways wanted to come back in to say, okay, you know, what. The only thing I took with me was that I was going to this meeting.
Yes. Neutral.
And this meeting was going to be a lovely meeting.
Yes.
And I was going to get there on time. Because even when the circumstances started to twirl and swirl again, where I would get anxious because I don't like being late to meetings, anybody's meeting. And this one in particular, I did not want to be late. And so I wanted to leave my home at a particular time and drive carefully and take my time. And when I saw that I was not going to be able to leave at the time that I wanted to leave, that's when I went back to my breathing techniques, and again to focus and to recognize that if I go with getting upset, the transportation is not going to come any earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get, the transportation is not going to get here any earlier. So what is the point of getting upset, really upset? By the time the transportation gets here, I'm going to be fuming mad. I will not be able to focus very well. I'll have to spend energy trying to calm myself down, clean the energy out, do all of that. So I just went instead for, okay, what do you want to see? I want to be there 10 minutes before that. I'm not even going to worry as to whether I'm not going to put things like traffic in my head. Nothing. I want to be there 10 minutes before so I could shed some energy, get myself into the space and just be present. Don't try to send the meeting in a particular direction. Don't try to do anything. Just sit where you are and let the meeting flow. Whatever comes, that's the meeting. And that was a change from, not even from the old self. That was a change from when I first knew the meeting had to take place. The amount of different scenarios I ran through my head and what. And so for me, that was just stay where you are. It is already done. But you could upset it by putting in your thoughts, putting in your feelings, putting in your this, bringing fear and anxiety. And it was one of the most beautiful meetings I have had in a long time. Really, really, really nice. So that is, I like that direction. I really like that direction. I'm going to practice that more. Not pre-planning things.
It takes the weight off.
Yes. Perhaps the next step would be to apply that same process and approach to, you know, how we always talk about making up things in your head when you're in a relationship. You make it up. If the person doesn't even know you're in a relationship with them, okay, good. So I'm going to apply that same process and just let things be, because going through the experience, you see that, you know, this is like what you just said, to try something new, just do it. This is really what it is. It is what it is. And if you just let it be what it is, then you don't have any work to do.
Yeah, you don't have any work to do, you know. And you see, in approaching things from that direction, and the only time we approach things from that direction is as children. A child will fall off a bike today, they might be running, fall off, bruise the knee. Does that stop them tomorrow? It does not. Because why? They see tomorrow as a new day. They are going to try again. They are going, despite whatever happens, they are going to try again. But for some reason, we hold to the experience, we hold to things going to go wrong, and that is how we tend to move forward instead of just starting from a neutral space. Because even if you had an experience that probably wasn't a good experience and you don't even want to go back to the place, you might recognize the time that you got the person not there, they were transferred. You might meet the same person, have a totally different experience, and you're confused because that person was just probably having a rough day. So we really supposed to practice approaching each day from a clean slate instead of piling on all the things that happened yesterday on it and just keep stressing ourselves out over and over and over again, you know? So really approach things from a new day, a new day. And even for all the persons who, you know, share their experiences before, what are some of the strategies that you could utilize to rewrite limiting narratives with intention and purpose instead of moving forward with whatever the pattern was from yesterday? What have been working for you? Let us know. So somebody else might be able to learn something new and practice something new as well. What do you now practice?
I think consistency for me is also knowing that I am enough. And, because a lot of times I know for myself, one of the challenges I have with doing anything is the fear of, the fear of someone or what they would say, or the fear of, the unknown, or I don't know what to expect. So I feel like for me, when I get to that point, is this realizing that there's no fear because everything is already set. So it's just, from one of the key things I would say is really understanding my mind and the role of my mind and how much control we give our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time it's because you think or your mind thinks that something is going to happen, and then you start believing, oh my gosh, and then you go into that whole spiral. So it's coming to that awareness when I get to that point that this is not real. This is just the mind, and taking the time out to sit and really let the soul lead.
Yes.
So sit in your quiet space, ask your question, get your answer, and then move. Because you realize, like, when you start doing that, the fear goes away, or things just work out the way that it,
Yeah, it's
so
meant to be.
smooth,
Mm-hmm.
so you had no reason to have this fear in the first place, you know. And then don't be upset when, you realize, oh my God, I'm just wasting time. I know I shouldn't be doing this, because I go into that as well. But just sitting back, learning how to sit back and learning how to ask the question and be consistent in learning that step and applying that step in the simplest of things. You go to the supermarket, you're picking up your stuff, you ask a question, just in everyday life, trying to incorporate that into everyday life, you realize that things just flow.
Yeah.
And no matter, even if it doesn't flow the way you expect it to flow, because a lot of times we get so down on ourselves. Oh my God, this is not how I want it to happen. Or this is just the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It's happening for you, for your growth, not to you. So just kind of understanding these concepts, make it situations a lot easier to handle and move forth.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Nicola, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I have an experience that I'd like to share, and it's actually very much in line with what Lisa was just saying, because that's one of the things for me now.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this 5K DPKK, right? And when it came out, I wasn't into 5Ks like that yet. But I saw the Madonna thing, and then after I got into 5Ks. And I was like, I want to go to 5K. And I used to just randomly stalk these sites. I know it's sold out. I know within myself I see it sold out, but I know something going on workout, right? So I would just randomly, probably like 3, 4 times for the month, once a week, I would just go on the website, see it sold out, come out. All right, man, they might open up. So then they did open up some more spots the beginning of July. And when I saw it, I wasn't home. And by the time I got home and I saw it, well, the spots were gone. So
Mm-hmm.
then the Friday, so the race was Sunday. So not the Friday before the race, the Friday before that. Two of my friends was actually going to the race. So I was actually in front where they had to collect, and I called and I was like, you collect your package already? I said, well, I'm in front M6 Plaza, so I could go and collect it for you. She said, thanks, thanks, thanks. So I went and I collected it, and while I was sitting there, like the thought came, asked them if people can come and collect the baby, any remaining babies, if they were willing to sell it, right? I didn't even think twice. I didn't bother to stop myself from saying no, then I
Or
asked.
overthink. Yeah.
Yes, overthink. So the girl was like, well, yeah, I believe so. If you come Sunday and we have extra bibs, we'll just give it away. So I was like, okay, cool, no problem. So I tell my friends and them, because I had a 5K Saturday evening. I say, early I going up with early Sunday morning. I have nothing to lose. Either I get through or I don't get through. If I get through, I have my sneakers, everything, I get in the race. If I don't get through, well, then I sit and I wait for you all to come back. Because it'll be fun seeing them on the road and everything.
Yes.
So the Monday now, which would have been last week Monday, I went on the website and I saw that collection. The last day for collection was Thursday. So I was like, well, right, if Thursday, I have some time. Because I did say after the 5K Saturday evening, if I could, I would stop in Shoguana and see, because I thought the last day for collection was the Saturday. It was the Thursday. So then I sat and I watched the numbers. And I was like, universe, which one of these numbers to call? So I called the number. When I called, the girl was like, hi, DPK, Chris C3. I said, I called the wrong number, it's really M6. But what I'm trying to find out is, if you all have additional bibs, remaining bibs, would you all be selling? She was like, well, I could find out for you and I would get back to you. Say, okay. She said, send us a message. I did send a message on WhatsApp. And I left it alone. And then the doubt started stepping. So I said, let me go and see where's M6 number. So I called M6 Plaza, because they who do the distribution. When I did call now, the guy told me the same thing and then send the message. Thursday evening, no, Thursday I had a horrible day, but it all worked out how it was supposed to. But it started off a little rough, right? And then I just had to leave home and I had to get out of the space and everything. And then I was washing the car and I came inside and then I saw the message, hi, are you still interested in the 5K? We have a spot you have to go on. Yeah, well, you'll have to go to the PK M6 tomorrow, by tomorrow, to collect, because the last day for collection is Friday. I said, what time did this close? Today. She said 8 o'clock. I said, I can go today. She said yes. And I left home and I went up the road. I got into the race. And that was one of the best races that I have done for the year. Like Sunday morning, everything about Sunday morning was just beautiful. I finally got through bread. I've been trying to get through bread for the longest while. I finally got one. But it was a really, really nice race. And it was a nice experience, because it was like you don't have to worry about anything. And all you
Yeah.
have to do is set the intention. And it
Know
don't
what
mean that
you want.
you have to think about it. Because
Yes.
every day I wasn't thinking about DPKP, but I know within me, I want to go to the race. And
Mm-hmm.
it just worked out. And up to now, I'm still waiting on a message from the person from M6 to say they have space in the thing. So it was
Mm-hmm.
C3 who actually contacted me and said, yeah, I could go and collect the bill. And yeah, and I don't even think they had like additional spaces for other people. I don't know if other people got through, but I got through
Yeah.
and it was really, really nice. And it just taught me, go with the flow. And as Lisa was saying, don't even think. The instructions come and you just follow
Yep.
and you go with it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we have two so far. We have knowing what you want, and we have just do it. Don't overthink it. doubt yourself, just get it done.
And I
Mhm.
also want to add being obedient because I have an next
Yeah.
story for Price Club 5K where I did the race review, right? But actually, when I went to collect the package, I sent a picture to my friend with the goodie bag that we got, and she was like, "When I reach home, I want to see where you're getting the bag." But me, I'm very playful, so I say, "Okay, I'm gonna make it like a YouTube video," and I recorded a video of 5 kicks. And then after I made the video, I found out that Price Cup actually have a review competition. And everybody was like, "Nicole, upload the video, upload the video." And I was like, "No, I don't put myself out there like that on social media." And then the Saturday, my cousin called. Yeah, she Nicole, I think, no, she messaged. She was like, "I think you should really upload the video." I was like, "Okay, okay, okay, I'll be obedient." And I did. I uploaded the video. And then I ended up winning the prize.
Yeah.
And all of that from, again, being obedient and stepping outside of the fear, because for me, it was fear. So it was like, you allow the fear to consume you so much and you don't know what could happen. So sometimes in life is just move past the fear because the fear just there because the fear don't even know the end outcome anyways. So just do it, and what's the most that could happen.
Yeah. Yep. And you see, that is really how you tend to create the life story that you want aligned with your values rather than your circumstances. Because Nicola could have stayed focused on the circumstances. The race sold out. They didn't message me back. Let me just stop. And a lot of times we stop instead of really pursuing what we want. This is what I want. And you see, in doing so, you would recognize that you creating the story in real time because you're opening the pathway. But if you decide, well, nah, let me give up, it is what it is, then what will happen? You will have the same story. You're still waiting. You're still hoping, you know? So you really have to always ensure that even in knowing what you want, you also have to walk. What you want, it is not always going to come and meet you where you are. Sometimes it might come and meet you, other times you have to walk. And you have to walk past the fear and you have to keep walking. And just as
And
Nicola said, what is the worst that could happen?
Adana, I just want to add two
Mm-hmm.
things. For that 5K, I had zeros and 0 cents when I asked the question as to if I would get in it. So I didn't even know how I was going to pay for the 5K.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had some friends came in from St. Kitts and someone had sent money for them, but he said the money wouldn't be sufficient for what they needed to do. So he said, "You could keep the money. We just want you to come and carry us out. You could keep the money to put gas." And the money that I got was the exact amount that I needed to pay for the 5K because I didn't know how I was going to pay for the 5K. And I'm going out with them. I won an next prize that night too. I don't know, like luck and a streak because they had to go and they had to spend a certain amount of money. And then the guy came and he handed the check. And he was like, if you because you spend a certain amount of money, you get the check and you have a chance to win.
To win
And the guy was
something.
like, "But I don't normally win anything." And he said, "I said, give me it. I would win it for you." And then after that, we went and sit, and then I went back by the bartender, and I was like, "What time? How I collected my price?" All that time, I don't know how I think. I was like, "How I collected my price?" He said, "Well, they would call out the numbers just now." I said, "Okay." I said, "I'm not leaving here until I get my price, you know." So I said, "We sitting here in Lyman until." Then they decided to call the ticket numbers. The first one to call was 3 something. Nobody not answered. Everybody's like, "The person not here, they leave." Continue, let's go. They call our next 3 something. When they get to call the third number now, it was like 4. I say, right, it start good. 1, I say, right, and continue with the 2. 2. I was like, "Thank you very much for my price." I mean, so I just say all of that to say, just be, because really and truly, I didn't even want to leave home Friday. And then everything was like, "Nicola, go, Nicola, go, Nicola, go." And I did leave and I won the prize. So yeah.
Yes. So knowing what you want, you're ensuring that you have clarity. You are moving past the fear. You're taking the next step and you're ensuring, well, you're being obedient first. And then you're ensuring that you take the next step because really at the end of the day, what do you have to lose? Because you're still, wherever you are, you still have nothing. So you might as well just try.
That's true, because the guy was like, "I don't win nothing." I was like, "Oh, you mean you don't win nothing? You don't know." And look at where I win. Well, he wouldn't be here anyways to redeem the prize. But look here, you won. So when you start off, well, I'm not going to win nothing. So I'm not even going to try, or I don't need it. You don't know that could be your day
Yeah.
that you get through.
And that is how easily we block ourselves off of things. That is how easily. So you state it, you believe it, and then it comes to you. I don't win anything, and that is exactly what the universe returned. Okay, no problem. And the person who wanted it, okay, let's just redirect it over here, because this is this person holding the light, this person shining the light to let the universe know I want it. So then it is redirected. And you see, that is how simple things are. So even when you get up in the morning, you're asking yourself, and even if you're asking yourself and you already know, it's to reinforce, because just as Nicola is explaining, in knowing what you want, you see the pathway start to open itself up. Because a lot of times you just get up, you don't know what you want, and you continue. Get up, know what you want, and even if you already know, that's okay. Say it again tomorrow. Say it again the day after. That is quite okay. Keep saying it. And you see, in doing so, you would recognize that, I am really the author of my story. You really, writing what you would like to see, declaring what you would like to see, you believing, and further than believing, you knowing what you would like to see. She knew that I would like to go to this race. I would like to win this prize. And even as the steps reveal themselves, please take it. If you decide, well, I'll do it tomorrow, the opportunity may no longer be there. You really have to do it in the moment. Yes, Lisa, I'm seeing that you have your hand raised.
I just wanted to add something to that because I had an experience like where I worked. I was working with this provider, and then just a couple of things happened, and then I was told I had to work with another provider, and I was a little bit downtrodden, disappointed. Well, I really like working with this provider, so why? And someone said to me, God has a way of working things out. Maybe that's not where you're supposed to be. And now I am with a provider who is from Trinidad, is a female, and we have such a good connection that sometimes when something happened and we think that was what it was supposed to be, and then something changed and we're so disappointed because of the change, or why did the change happen, but you don't know what is coming. So that could have been just a step for you to take to get to where you needed to be. So if the first time, like Nicola said, the first person didn't call you back, don't get despondent, don't get downhearted. Just know and continue focusing on what you want. Because I always used to say, like, I want to just work in a place where I am happy to be at work, and everything is always working out. I mean, they'll have ups and downs, and it's like now the environment is so different, at least from my perspective. I can't speak for everyone else. So don't be downhearted, because even if you're going through a rough time, know that it is to get you to a better place and is for your growth.
It is. And then even with it, and you would recognize, even if in Nicola's instance, or even in your instance, Lisa, if you try something and it isn't what you expected it to be, you would recognize, because of how you think differently now, it can no longer send you back down the rabbit hole. So like in past experiences, it may have been, you see, and that is why I don't want to start anything new and send yourself down the rabbit. The experience is the experience. That is all. The experience is the experience. Does this experience determine the other experiences that you would like to have? It does not determine the other experiences you would like to have. Even if I want to buy something, and especially things to eat, and it could be $150 for a slice of cake, the price is the price. I would like to taste it. Even if the taste is not something that I enjoy, I still wanted to taste it. Is this going to stop me from buying other things in the future? Absolutely not. Not at all. I am going to whatever it might be. Remember, for today, in this moment, the experience is just the experience. You learn from it. Okay, this particular brand is not to my liking. Let me try something else. Instead of just you decide, well, I am not eating any more cakes and I'm going to make cakes for the rest of my life. No, no. Somebody could always make it better than you. And trust me, the experts at making cakes, and especially the cakes that are sold at Starlight in Trinidad, they are glorious, 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 glorious cakes. Yes, the price. Yeah, the price is the price. You know, whatever your experiences are the experiences. They should not. Don't let your experiences be the author of your story. Because what you would do, you're just creating a prison for yourself. You don't know what will happen tomorrow. Even in Nicola's instance, even my brother-in-law was looking to try to get into that 5K. Sometimes we're blocking ourselves off from everything. The mere fact that the thought keeps coming means that the possibility is there. But what are you going to believe? Are you going to believe in the limitation, or are you going to believe in the abundance? You know, and therein lies the difference. So even as you move forward, and for this week, of course, this is the last week of July. Imagine that. This is the last week. By Saturday, we would be in August. August, September, October. No, in 5 months, we would be at the brink of 2027. Imagine that. Yes, Lisa, I'm seeing that you have your hand raised.
I just wanted, like you, as you know, as different people talk, things just kind of popping up. And when you talk about the cost of the cake, and for a lot of us, we think about money and the cost, you know, and if you think that you can't afford it, then that's what's going to kind of come back to you. So, you know, when you think, and it's kind of like you said, you're thinking in lack when it comes to money, because we have this fear of, I'm never going to have enough money. I'm never going to be able to do this. And I think that's one of the things that is very challenging. And we have to be mindful of how we think about money. You know, like you said, if the cake is whatever the price of the cake, you buy the cake, you enjoy it, and money will continue to come. But if you start, oh, I can't afford it, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that, then you limit yourself. But then that's what you're going to get more of.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to have a different relationship with money.
Yeah. And even if you buy the cake and you don't enjoy it, that is not going to affect me buying other cakes in the future at all. And a lot of times that is what happens. So you sign yourself off of everything else because of this one experience. This is not what it is going to be. And even my niece had the opposite experience, where she comes from a family that have a lot of really good cooks. And even I have one cousin who does cakes really, really good. And even if the cake is in the fridge for a week, the cake doesn't dry out. It stays moist. It is just pure perfection. And we went to a popular ice cream / cake company, and my niece was thoroughly disappointed. And I had to remind her, listen, everyone's cakes and stuff wouldn't be like this particular cousin's own, you know, because she as well was able to sign everything off, and she had another not so good experience. So she had a friend who does cheesecakes. She bought the cheesecake and she was very disappointed again. But, you know, I just try to encourage her, to remind her that, listen, keep trying. You will get the one that you really like, and you will continue to buy it. And, you know, the experience is the experience. Stop allowing yourself to, you know, you're holding back yourself because of one thing, one experience, one person, one place. You never want to go back. You never want to, and you're cutting yourself off from so many different things. You would recognize in the long run, the only person being affected is you. You are not affecting anybody else. Everybody else is tending to their garden, just as Anastasia was explaining before. and they are creating the life that they would thoroughly like to enjoy, and you should also be doing the same thing and really enjoying and creating what you would like to enjoy. So even especially for this week, as you move forward, be very mindful of the story that you are writing for yourself. Even if you would like to alter some things or tweak some things, be very mindful so that some of these things you say, you might need to be mindful of it. Some of the actions, you might need to be mindful of your actions. Some of your thoughts, you would need to be mindful of your thoughts, because you always want to ensure that you are creating the story that you would like to enjoy. So even if and again, the story that you have been creating does not affect what you would like to create, you could put down this story just like as you buy a new book, you read something new, you could do something new also to change your story. You are the author. While the experiences might shape certain things, the experiences don't determine the remainder of the story. So create the story that you would like to enjoy moving forward. And know that you are the author. Nobody else is your author. And you are also no one else's author. Please, please remember that as well. You are not anyone else's author for their story. Please. It is something to really be mindful of. So are there any more questions before I let you all know what the schedule is for this week? All right. So for this evening, I know we spoke of becoming the author of your story. And from tomorrow, we would be looking at purpose, meaning, and identity. So we would be discussing connecting emotions to a larger purpose within. Then from 7, we have our fuel and flex full body workout sessions. Then on Wednesday, we have counseling and consultations from 10. And then from 6, we would be discussing projects, my stronger self blueprint. Ensure that you have pen and paper so that you could take the notes that are necessary. So here we would be discussing living according to identity rather than mood. Because for a lot of us, mood affects a lot of different things. Then on Thursday from 10, we have counseling and consultations. And from 6, we would be looking at the integrated self, where we would be discussing the identity and emotional development framework. Then from 7 p.m., we have the fuel and flex full body workout sessions. Then on Friday, we have a private yoga and meditation session from 10. And from 3, we have Free to Be, where we release, relax, restore, and unwind by appointment only, of course. And on Saturday the 1st, we would be closed. Also, for this week, we also have our Be at Work session, which is on the 29th, which is this Wednesday, from 2 to 2:30 p.m. This is really for organizations. So this topic, the topic for this month is when stress hits. So, sometimes a lot of people experiencing a lot of difficulties, so especially as it relates to stress at work. So this is the topic for this month. If it is something that you are interested in, feel free to message us at 336-1809, and we can send the link to your HR or organization or whoever the person would be who deals with personnel at your job. So teams with high emotional intelligence communicate more effectively, navigate conflict constructively, adapt to change with greater resilience, and create a culture built on trust and respect. So if this is something that you are interested in, please reach out to us and let us know. You could be at your desk, and it's just for sometimes between 20 minutes to half an hour. Starts at 2, ends by 2:30 latest. So please reach out to us and let us know if this is something that you are interested in, either for yourself or for your organization. Yes. So guys, have a wonderful, mindful week.
Adana, before we go, is it this Thursday that is water aerobics?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes. This is the fourth Tuesday. So yes, this Tuesday is water aerobics, and then it's the fourth Tuesday, which is tomorrow. We will be going down by the savannah. So yes. That is for the fitness person. So guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Be mindful of the story you are writing. Do not utter words that is against the story you would like to create for yourself. Why even utter the sentence? Why even have the thought? Replace it with something else. Know what you want. Be obedient. Take the first step. All right? Good night, everyone. See you, some of you next week, and see some of you tomorrow at the Genius Goals Mindset sessions. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.